morning, everyone. Hope every one of you are doing great. So today we are in our IELTS class. Today is a different topic, different thing. Today is more about guiding all the students who had a dream to study abroad. So today we are accompanied by one of our guests who is both an IELTS tutor and who had a practical experience of studying and working abroad. So first and foremost, I would like to thank Kunal sir for joining us. Thank you, sir. So we would basically be dealing with lot of things, right from IELTS exams to your moving abroad to challenges you face as a student and as a working professional. So first and foremost question, sir. First, let us start with your own journey, sir. What made you like to plan for abroad? How did you plan for it? So let us start from that thing, sir.
Sure. So after completing my graduation from Nafigera University in Dehradun, I was planning to do MBA. But I realized that an MBA wasn't really in my budget. And I thought if I have to invest money by taking a loan from my family for doing an expensive MBA, I'd rather move to a foreign country and make sure I can make that money back much faster, because as I said, money was a very important factor for me. Usually in India, if you do an MBA from an IIM, it would cost you upwards of 20 to 25 lakhs. And then in order to pay back that money, if you have taken a loan from a bank or from your own family, it would be really challenging. As we know that Indian market does not guarantee any minimum wage. So an MBA graduate from an IIM could be making upwards of 2 lakhs per month, but it could also be as low as 40,000 or 30,000 per month, depending on how the job market is going at that point. So the job market does not provide you a lot of security, even after getting such a high and expensive education. So therefore I decided that, I should go and study abroad, and then because Canada is a country that has a minimum wage guarantee. So that means even after your studies, even if you spend a lot of money, you can still earn at least a minimum wage income that can help you recover some of that money, because at the end, money is all that matters in the world. So that's why I decided that I'm going to move to Canada and make sure that if I invest a lot of money there, I can make that money back and also build a good career and future for myself.
Truly, sir. Because it's not just about getting good academic opportunities. Sir said it very correctly that job market and the uncertainty definitely reside in all those developing countries out there. So we can truly understand, and most of the students right now, most of the working professionals definitely are opting for abroad study or work just because of the uncertainty in the market. So sir, after once you decided it, there are a lot of options available for students. IELTS, PT, a lot of examinations. Even a lot of people go without doing those things. So what did you decide then?
So I tried to explore my own options, and I did need to get some education abroad as well, because I already done my bachelor's. So I thought an MBA or a postgraduate diploma in management or some related field would be a good option. Yes, there are options where you can just directly travel to a foreign country and start working, but I thought that's not going to be the best way for me. I need a better education as well. So therefore I decided that I'm going to do a degree or a diploma from a foreign country. And I narrowed down my search to 2 countries that were Canada and Australia. But at that point I figured out that Canada is going to be a better option for me, because I'm much more familiar with that market due to having a lot of relatives there. And overall, that's why I stayed towards Canada.
So sir, once you prepared all the things, once you did with your IELTS exams, all the budgeting, all the documented process, once you landed on the foreign land, how does it feel?
So it felt really amazing. It was winter time at that point. It was really cold. I did not expect it to be that cold. Like in India, even though we live close to the mountains, I've never experienced that kind of winter before. So yeah, the winter is really harsh. I think on that day it was minus 17 or 18 degrees Celsius. It was snowing. It was really windy. And that kind of weather can prove to be really challenging. And for the first time, that can also be scary. But thankfully, I had some friends there. So my friend picked me up, and I was having I had his brother was also traveling with me. So all 3 of us, went to his home, and then he had his car. So I think the first 2 days were really not that challenging for me because I had all the help. But yes, in case of students who don't have that sort of help and are new to a country and are by themselves, the first 2 days, especially in winters, can be really challenging. So please plan ahead. If you do not have friends there, make sure your planning is really immaculate. If not, try to go to a foreign country, especially a country like Canada in the summertime. So there are 3 different intakes: January intake, a May intake, and September. So May and September are both pretty good weather-wise, but yeah, January intake I would say try to avoid it because the weather is really terrible. And then even like looking for jobs in that time is also not good because most of the factories and works are like running under less pressure and they don't have like production going on at peak, so you won't find any jobs at that point. So yeah, so try to go for May and September.
Yes, sir, well mentioned. So one major thing, like a lot of people have that perception that once we move abroad, it's all money.
Yeah.
There's no like little bit of hard work and it's all money and we're all settled. Is it a reality?
No, I mean, so like social media trends have made people realize that it's not all money. Yes, sometimes social media also really tries to glorify the life there and presents it as all money and nothing bad is happening. But yeah, it's a real struggle, especially during the first few months, because when you go there, you realize that the cost of living is much higher compared to India, and any money that you take from India to Canada would run out really fast. So you need to get a job there, you need to start earning money and working part-time. Even in certain cases, part-time jobs, like a single part-time job will not suffice, and you need to do multiple part-time jobs just to make sure that you can maintain a decent standard of living in these countries. And getting a first job is really difficult because they don't really accept in Canada any kind of Indian or foreign experience. They only accept Canadian experience. If you don't have Canadian experience, they consider you a fresher. And without any references, getting a job as a fresher can be really difficult. So you need 2 things. You either need Canadian experience or really good references. If you have those things, you can get a job. Otherwise, finding your first job is going to be really difficult.
Because initially when we land up in a very alien country, we have no access to anyone. Like if we are privileged enough or fortunate enough to have some people like of our known, then it's good. But apart from that, those who is new to the total, like who is new to this world, he doesn't have reference out there, he doesn't know how to walk out there. Like for those kind of people, sir, what would you suggest? Like, is it good to learn something back from here? Okay, is it like to make good connections and network out there? Like, what should they do? Like for someone like who is a very newbie in that country?
I think people should always try to work on their soft skills before moving to a foreign country, especially communication skills. So if you're going to a foreign country that has English as their first language, always make sure that your communication skills and your grasp of the English language is really excellent. If you don't work on your English, if you don't work on your communication, you'll find it very difficult to find your first job. Because at any interview, if you're really shy, if you cannot communicate properly, they will not hire you because most jobs are related to customer service in some sort of way, or you might need to work with a team, and usually those teammates are going to be native English speakers. And if you don't have a lot of experience in that arena, you will really struggle. So I would say work on your communication skills and work on your soft skills. But other than that, you can get some vocational training here as well because some people really can find jobs easy if they have some sort of skill. Like I think some of these things might be really awkward for some students because they don't really think about working these jobs. But when you go to a foreign country, you have to work like any job. So you could be a PhD graduate from India, but you could be working a cleaning job or working at a restaurant or making coffee or you picking up dirty plates just to survive. But at the end, all that hard work will pay off for you. You don't think like, oh, that's the only career there. That's usually what you will do for the first year or so, for the first 6 months. After that, after getting like decent Canadian experience, you can get much better jobs. But for the first few months, if you don't want to do a job that like cleaning or any menial jobs, then try to learn some skills. So I think the most common skill that I've seen like students learn especially students from like this is like Punjab and Gujarat are saloon skills, so basically hairdressing. Because that's a very lucrative job. You can earn twice or thrice of any other job in Canada if you know how to like cut hair or how to like work at a salon. So if you can get those skills, you can get a job at any Indian or Asian salon there, and they pay you really well. So a single haircut can cost upwards of $40 to $50, and you can make like almost $60 to $70 in an hour working that job. So I would say try to get some skills. If you don't want to go into that particular category, then work on your English, work on your soft skills, and also try to network as much as possible on LinkedIn. You usually have like 5 to 6 months to prepare before landing in Canada. So start working on networking, start working on your skills, and then after that, be prepared for the struggle. Anyone is going to be at least 3 to 4 months of a struggle to find and land the first job. But after that, once you get that first job, when you gain career experience, it does get much easier.
Truly said, sir. You covered all the important aspects, right from like enhancing your communication skills. That's the first thing, because you are into a totally different country, and not knowing language can act as a barrier most of the time. Second thing, like if you are very much willing to learn a lot of different vocational skills, like working in salon or carpentering or gardening, that might work. So apart from that, like sir, as you mentioned, we know like a lot of PhD students, master students do a lot of menial jobs out there. But are they able to manage their studies and their work? Because initially we are going for studies, but definitely we have to survive. That is why we need to have a part-time job or other kind of job. So are people able to manage? Because I've heard the stories that people totally leave their studies and totally focus on the part-time jobs and on start earning money. So what do you think, sir?
So I think in my opinion it depends on the individual. If you're someone who's really focused on your studies and you want to do your masters and grow in that particular field, yes, then there will be less time for you to do part-time jobs. Then you have to manage your finances in the same way. So if you're going for your masters and you really focus on your studies, make sure you have necessary funds back home that can help you support you during your studies, as you won't be able to work like long hours at a part-time job. But if you're going for a diploma, then you might have more time to work. And then it also depends on your own skills, like how you manage your time between your work and your job, and then how hardworking you are. So I would say diploma students can work a lot more, but if you're doing your masters, especially in a field like IT, something more technical, then you have to understand that you won't be able to work long hours in your job, and also make sure you have a safety net.
Yeah, safety nets are like very crucial thing, because if you don't have that financial support, then I think that most of the time it plays in your head that I have to support myself, I have to support the family. The family pressure, especially from Asian countries, is huge, that parents are expecting a lot of money, or they don't want to like invest much because now they have already invested in lakhs. So that's always a pressure point. So you have to manage it accordingly, my friends. So apart from that, we've also heard, as you mentioned, there's a minimum wage terms and conditions in those developed countries out there. But is it true, sir, like whoever does whatever kind of course at the last land up doing a good job in abroad?
So I think it depends on how you hone your skills, how much experience you get, how many reference you collect over the course of your study. That will depend on what kind of job you will end up after your studies. Yes, during your study time you will have to work minimum wage jobs mostly, but after your studies are done, then you will be given like much more time to work by the government, and you will be able to work full time. So now you will be eligible for much better jobs, especially related to your own field of studies. However, you have to make sure that your skills are up to the mark. So if you're only doing like part-time jobs that have no skill involved, you won't be able to get the relevant experience. And in that case, finding your first job will become really challenging. Many people like have to struggle for a long time, like months or even like years, to find their first really good job. So make sure during your study you are getting relevant experience, you're getting good references, and you combine all those skills to get your first job. If you can do this, I think you can still land a pretty good job, which will get you paid much higher. But if you are unable to get those skills, then landing that first job can be tough.
we have completed most of the like segments right from your journey till your working profile, till your hustle out there. Like you need to work a lot there. Apart from that, we cover the barriers that you might face. So how are people like there in abroad? Like are they like very supportive of like people coming from other nations? Are they like racist? Something like that. We keep on hearing a lot of things like those in social media. So what was your experience?
I think, in my opinion, or in my personal experience, people have been really nice. I think Canadian people are generally considered much nicer than their American counterparts, or even like Europeans in that case. So Canadians, like you will find them to be really warm and welcoming. You always want to learn about their culture, but make sure you also respect their culture. Because a lot of the times when Indians travel abroad, they don't want to assimilate, they don't want to learn the Western culture, they only want to live among Indians, or they don't really respect their culture and can sometimes cause nuisance. If you are a person that wouldn't want to assimilate with Canadians, then also you shouldn't be expecting any niceties from them. But yes, if you learn their culture, if you learn their ways, if you try to adapt yourself, I think they will welcome with open arms. So yes, to learn how to say thank you, sorry. Again, the catchword in Canada is sorry. So if you bump into anyone or if you are blocking their way, make sure you say sorry. You hold the door. Like these simple small gestures can go a long way. But again, if you're someone who's just going to ignore all these decencies of human beings, then you find it like tough. And then you might also face something which Indian people consider racism, but it's not racism. It's just how the kind of reactions you have to expect when someone doesn't follow your culture.
Also, that is very beautifully mentioned, because if you are open to like other people's culture and you show that respect to other people out there, then definitely the reciprocity is bound to happen. But definitely if you are showcasing your own like misbehavior or other kinds of things, then definitely you want to get the same tit for tat thing. So that is beautifully mentioned, sir. So finally, sir, a small piece of advice that you would give to all those people who are planning to move abroad for their studies, for their work, anything. It may be your personal experience, it may be something they should prepare beforehand. Any piece of advice that you would like to tell?
Sure. I think I have like a few pieces of advice I would like to give to students who are preparing to travel abroad would be, first of all, learn the English language. Get as good as you can. Like your communication skills are going to be really important, not just to get your first job, but also to advance in that job. And another thing I would like to say is ignore social media. Do not learn the ways of foreign by watching people on social media. Try to do your own research and then make sure you're ready to work hard. If you're not really been, used to working or having a hard life in India, if your parents have kept you really comfortably, then you have to understand that in a foreign country, it's going to be hard. You have to really work hard for every single dollar you have to earn. So make sure you're prepared to work hard, make sure that communication skills are excellent, and then make sure that you are ready to assimilate into the culture of the country you're traveling.
It was great, sir. That whatever you mentioned was awesome. I think the audience, the students have gained a lot of insight from this talk. I would just like to go back. I've missed a very important thing that most of the students actually face. That is problem related to mental health. Because when we are in a new country, definitely we are doing our hard work. We are facing what life throws at us. But at the same time, a lot of people face through loneliness, hardship, challenges, and a lot of people get breakdown. For that reason, sir, would you like to share something regarding that happened to you and how people can actually work on those things if you would like to share it?
So I think one good thing about a country like Canada is the large Indian diaspora. So you'll find Indians everywhere. So if you're feeling lonely, you can join some sort of clubs or committees. Like I personally joined multiple cricket clubs. I used to bond with people in the guise of cricket. So that was one thing for me. But still people can be lonely because you're working jobs and all your friends are working, so you don't get time to meet new people. Sometimes you will be living in a basement or not having contacts with others. And the real depression really kicks in during the winter because Canadian winters are harsh. It's always snowing. You're not going out. You're only going out for work, and even there, it's not a very good feeling traveling in that snow and bad weather. So I think in that time you really need support from your family back home to make sure you're talking to them, and make sure you go out and just meet new people and you be open to everyone. Don't presume that somebody is not willing to talk to you or they're being racist. Always offer the first handshake, and you'll realize that the world is full of, and especially Canada is full of some amazing people you can meet. So yeah, don't be an introvert. And the first change I made in myself when I landed in Canada was I was slightly an introvert in India, but I made a decision that as soon as I landed in Canada, I'm going to be extrovert. I'm going to be talking to people, communicating with them as much as possible. So overall, yeah, just just throw the shyness away from the window. If you're going to live alone in a country abroad, talk to people, meet new people. You find so many Indians as well there. People with the same interests as you have, and make sure you're just talking to your family as well. So if you do all these things, I don't think any kind of loneliness and depression can affect you. Plus, you'll be really busy with work, so all those things won't really affect you. But yes, if you need help, there'll always be help in Canada. Make sure you seek the right help at any point, and don't just keep things within you, because that's not going to be good.
Thank you, sir. Sir actually pinpointed each and every aspect that you need to do. Because going in a new country might feel lonely, but whatever sir mentioned, right from making networks to indulging in different clubs to talking out to family members, do not feel that you are burdening yourself all by yourself. It's not just you're suffering everything alone. You can always seek help from your family member, your friends. There are people out there who are actually giving help, whether it's any mental health service centers out there. So always, definitely do not hesitate to seek help, guys, because it's a one life, and you're gonna enjoy the life. You're gonna face the difficulty. You're gonna earn money. You're gonna enjoy life, whether you are in India, whether you are in abroad. So with that, I would just like to thank Kunal sir again for this wonderful talk, sir. It was really great. Whatever you mentioned, I think students will get a better insight of all those experiences that sir had. For future, you will require any kind of guidance, then definitely we are here for that. Thank you, Kunal sir.
And I would like to thank Aman for having me. It was really a pleasure speaking to you, and all the best to all the students.